Hello, my name is Boer. I'm a graphic designer and I have dyslexia. And I want to ask you to read this text on this slide for yourself. Welcome to the world of dyslexia. Dyslexia, as you know, is a reading problem. There's many more difficulties with dyslexia, like difficulties with names, left and right, and even more ear infections. But reading is the biggest problem. Reading affects everything. To explain you more, look at this picture, and you see two blocks, and you think the lower block is lighter of color. But think again. They are equal. There's an optical illusion. There's nothing wrong with your eyes. Your brain tricks you and thinks that it's a lighter color. This is the same for people with dyslexia. They read and their brain tricks them. They have put people in scans to see what part of their brain is active while reading. This is a typical brain from somebody that doesn't have dyslexia. There are three areas that are highly activated while reading. If you look at a dyslexic brain, one of those three is highly activated and the other are not activated at all. So the brain is wired differently. And what's the problem? What for kind of things you do? I have dyslexia, and you hear all your life, while you're reading, while you're writing, you switch, you rotate, and mirror the letters. You're doing it wrong. And you think, okay, you know it probably. I see that I make sometimes a mistake if you point it out. But really, you don't notice it yourself, like an optical illusion. Your brain does the trick. So in 2008, I was in art school, and I was thinking, let's do something about dyslexia. And I was reading some stuff, and for the first time in my life, I read those sentences about switching and rotating. Well, I heard all my life, but on that moment, I got a flash in my head and thinking, that switching and rotating, that are all 3D movements. And if you take a regular cup of coffee, like any object, and you rotate it, switch it, it will always be a cup of coffee. But if you do this with a letter, the meaning will change. You got different letters. So we do this in our brain, even we don't notice it ourselves. And to get further in this thing is, if you look at how a typeface is made, one of the rules is make it as uniform as possible, to make it like a clean letter. The problem is with people with dyslexia is that you make twin letters. Like the M and the H, all the arches in all these letters are all the same, even if you flip them upside down. And the shapes of the letters are also the same. Thus, you make twin letters for people that don't differentiate all the letters and have difficulties with it. So all the rules don't apply for people with dyslexia. You make it harder for them to read. And if you make a typeface that's not readable for people, you don't make a typeface at all. So what have I done? I was thinking, okay, let's do that 3D movement and make a design that's readable for people with dyslexia and throw out all the regular rules. I'll show you couple of those rules. With flipping upside down letters, I made the underside bolder. It's like a wheel. If you make one part heavier, that part will also always go down. You don't flip them upside down anymore. And for mirroring part, I have looked like how learn people write and read. People with dyslexia learn to read with handwriting. So there are two things about that. It's easy to disguise your errors. It's an E, it's an R. The second thing, and that's the most best thing of that, is the sense of motion. If you take block letters, you take the motion away from the letter. This motion I brought back to distinguish the letters from each other. So I slanted some letters. And sometimes I slanted the whole letters if they got the same shape. But other letters I keep straight to make more difference. Like here, you don't read I anymore, but you read I and J. And as easy as this is, all these letters are really big on the screen. If you are reading, they are really small. So a big difference can make by only opening the letters. So you see more difference between the O and the C. Those little things can make that you recognize the letter much faster. And then the reading go easier. By lengthening the descender and ascender, the difference is emphasized. It doesn't work anymore. Thank you. And this is something that I have always a problem with, capitals and punctuation. I just miss them while I'm reading. I'm busy in my head trying to translate it to images, what I read, to understand what I read. And when you are busy and you miss a capital, you have a problem. You read two sentences together and two meanings together, so you don't know anymore what you have read. So what I have done is make the capitals and the punctuation bolder. It was like a stop sign. So you know when you are reading, this is a stop, understand the first line before you go to the next line. And spacing. A lot of people with dyslexia have trouble with reading when the letters melting together, like a crowding effect. And they don't see the letters separate anymore. And what I have done is more spacing between the letters, but also between the words. So I graduated in 2008, and I was thinking, okay, I will use it, and my test group will use it, and that's it. Like any other graduation project, it will end up in a small group, and there it will be. So I post the letter on my website, and within a month, my hosting company of my website called me and said, you have too much traffic on your site. Please, we have already a bill for too much traffic, but it will go up and we want to warn you. And I was thinking, okay, I'm not the only one with dyslexia. I probably can help a lot of people in the world. So within the world, there's around 10% of people that has dyslexia. Within the US and the UK, it's even between the 50 and 20% of the people that have dyslexia. There's a real problem. These people all have dyslexia. These are famous people, and I believe that they get famous because they get stronger because they have dyslexia. They have to struggle more to get where they want it. So after some people used it within the Netherlands in 2011, I won a prize, and the media cover it, and it went worldwide. And there were, in the first time, like more home users, and after home users came schools, like he can read at home, but he can read at school. And then the parents of the children were saying, yeah, I have dyslexia myself, I want it on the company, and then government departments are using it. And then they said, okay, we have it on school, but we want to read books. So publishers came and charities all around the world. So they came with books, apps, education material. It's crazy what they think about and want to use the typeface for. And I always say, if it helps people, it's fine by me. These are a couple of companies that use it, mostly for their own employees. Even like Shell, there was an employee, that a manager, he came to me and he said, I work for 12 years for Shell. And in the weekends, I have to read more emails to catch up with my employees that don't have dyslexia. So I work 7 days a week, and I do this a couple of years, and sometimes I call in sick just to have a day off. And now he said, I have my weekends for free because I can manage to read everything within the work week. So he can spend some time with his children. I even get a drawing from his children. So it's do help people there where it's needed. This is also in research. After it was finished and it went worldwide, and they want to see why does it work for people with dyslexia. So they did an eye tracker research. Eye tracker is that you read a text from a screen, and above the screen you had an infrared sensor. You don't see it, and it will shine in your eyes, and the computer focus on what you do. So the image is a bit small here, but I will point it out. People with dyslexia try to read really slow and try to understand what they read, and if they make an error, they will go back and forward again. It takes for people with dyslexia 5 times more energy to read the same text. So they will go jump back and forward, back and forward. The focus points are like how longer you focus on a point, how bigger the point it will be. So you see, like they're jumping back and forward, and then they got a difficult word, so the focus points are bigger. And the end time on average was 85 seconds for a small text. So they did the same text, but then in the dyslexie font. And they see a more regular pattern within while reading, with one straight line forwards and with regular dots in the text. So, and within 28 seconds, so they were somewhat faster, but they understand the text much better, and they became a more regular reader. And then, yeah, most people never think about the typeface. They are on the computer, and what can you do with the typeface? So I get a lot of emails, what can I use it for? Can I print with it? It is like any other typeface on your computer. You can use it in your email, in programs, online, browse your Facebook in the dyslexie font. And those people are reading more, and how more they are reading, how more they train themselves, how better they get, how easier it gets. And they start reading in their free time. So dyslexie font is worldwide used. It's for home users for free because I believe I want to help everybody that has dyslexia. And thank you.